Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our Edtech Tuesday session today. We have Lizeth Torres with us with her session, Unlocking Every Learner. This is a great session. I hope that you will enjoy it. And Lizeth, go ahead and take it away for us.
Hi, I'm Lizeth Torres. To register, this is 398730, remote check-in PSJA Tech. Please mute your mic. If you have any questions, go ahead and message in the chat and I'll be answering anything that comes up. I wanted to focus on unlocking every learner applications for Chromebook features for effective differentiation because I'm a SPED teacher. So a lot of the times it's a little bit about me. I'm a resource teacher here at Sorensen Elementary, and I see it's my kids, they need help. They need help sometimes reading the question multiple times. They need to make things larger, and they need to have things to help them focus. I mean, they have their little things that they need to go through a lesson. And I know teachers having large size classes, it's hard for them to give them the attention that they need or take the time to support them. Or so I'm trying to see in a way where if I'm not there in the classroom or I'm not able to help them out, my kids can be independent enough to look for resources that they can help them. So a lot of the times, well, I wanted to focus right now on the Chromebooks. If you look at some SPED accommodations, you have your text to speech. A lot of the things that our kids struggle is some of them cannot read. Some of them have, we have the dyslexia. They mix our words. Some of them are the emergent bilinguals, two populations. They're coming in with no English support, and yet our material, our content is in English. It's hard for them to transition. So I like using the accessibility features on the Chromebook. If you go through the student's Chromebook and you go through accessibility features, you have your Chromebook, select to speak, dictation, high contrast mode, full screen magnification, dog magnifier. The ones that I really, really like from here, it's your select to speak and the dictation. So if you go through your kids' Chromebooks and you look at the menu at the bottom, you're going to click it here, go under accessibility. This window is going to pop up and then you can activate them from here. So I'm going to talk more about the select to speak. The select to speak, it's in the bar of your Chromebook, of the student's Chromebook, on the taskbar, you're going to see this symbol. When they click on it, it's going to have a blue box appear. So the kids are able to select some text and they will read this. This will read the questions and answers to students for tests if they have it as a text, and then only actual text. Please do not put pictures. I do see that on some tests, they take clips of the questions and they post it, but the application or any of the applications won't read the actual questions or text because it's an image. It doesn't find any words to read, so it won't read the question. So if you could please write down at least the question. If you have images, go ahead and put the images, but please write the questions and answer for the students on the individual part, because again, all the programs that come up, they do not read pictures. So that's where I've been having some issues with some of the students. But that, instead of reading all the questions, it's one or two that I have to read instead of all my 10 small group testers. Students can use as many times. Again, this one, it's better than Chromebook because Chromebook goes off reading everything, and I really get it starts the microphone and it's recording, and it's very hard to manage it, and the kids don't have they can't work with that one. But with the select to speech, they're able to click on the words and pause it, replay it, accelerate it. They can focus on one specific item as many times as it is. And I make sure that with all my kids, I activate it with them on their Chromebox. on their Chrome computers. And it's available for the old versions and the new versions. And again, they're going to have this little image appear at the bottom of their screen, and they just click it. And as soon as it activates it, they have to go to the word, select the box, and it will start reading the text. And of course, this is going to help you from having to read the question over and over again to the student. Even if they're reading a passage or some text from a web page, this is going to help them read it to it. Of course, we do have to tell them that it cannot be used for reading the text, because during testing, you don't have the story read to them. The only thing that they have to be using it, you have to, best practices, let the kids know it's only for your questions and answers, not for stories. Or if you have dictionary words that you want them to read or instructions, let them use it for that. The other feature I like to do is dictation. I know for the purposes of notes, not everybody can have dictation for an accommodation. It's very hard to get that resource to the kids on the IEPs. But what I do like is that it cuts for note taking. It cuts time for note taking, and it cuts time for kids who are struggling with the typing. So yes, we do want to work with typing, and we want them to practice and practice, practice, but in the purpose of we have only a certain amount of minutes and we need to get it down. If he already wrote down the passage in the paper, let's have them use the dictation so they can read it again. It helps for the students who, one, get easily frustrated. I know a lot of them, one of my kiddos gets stressed out and they just want to take it out on the keyboard, and I'm like, okay, we'll practice, we'll build up our stamina to type more, but for the purpose of right now, because we have a limited of time, let's do this microphone, or at least to quicken the time when they're doing short things. You need to ask Google something, dictate it. You need to do your notes, or for a short respond at sentences, especially because some of my kids have dyslexia, dysgraphia. When they looking at the words, are struggling with their spelling. Our biggest issue is spelling. If they do dictation, they can look at the word and, is that the word that I wanted? Did I write it correctly? So if I wanted to write people and I'm putting it wrong on paper, but over here when I use the voice box, it spells it right, then okay, this is the one that I wanted. So I like dictation for that reason. It saves the students time from typing, and also it's good for taking notes. It supports speech to text spelling accommodation, and do not confuse it with the Chromebox. Again, the Chromebox is that speaker that comes out. I still not mastered it. I don't like how it sounds very aggressive, the Chromebox, but the dictation, it's to the specific area. So these are already embedded in the computer and they're very helpful for the kids. I like using these too. Another accommodation that I'm starting to get my students comfortable with, it's word prediction. Sometimes they don't know what to put next. They don't know how to what are they called? Are words that interjections, or like thus or then, when. I mean, they know what they want to say, but they don't know how to flow the sentence. I like word prediction because it gives them an idea of what next steps to take. So when you use the word prediction, it's not going to show up on the screen while you're typing. The way that I'm using it with my kids is that I have them use it as a tablet, or I have them pop up the keyboard on the screen. If you click on the, let me go back to the, if you click on the search menu over here, you can have the keyboard available on the screen. And this one right here, if you click on it, a little pop-up, it's going to be the digital keyboard. And as they're typing, it gives them a suggestion of the word that they're going to write, or it's going to give them a suggestion of what word can follow next. So for example, on this one, the picture, it says right here, dust. You can't really see it. My picture is blurry, but think about it as T9, how we used to have it back then, or where you would start typing something and it would start giving you suggestions. Again, we have to be very careful and practice with the kids in the sense that I don't want them to be clicking on the next word that pops up, oh, look, another one. That's probably what I wanted. We have to make sure, what did you want to put next? Sound it out, or they can click on it, but is that the word that you wanted? Say it out loud. Did it sound right? I practice with them in the sense that I don't want them to just have the computer make a sentence for them. And sometimes if you get clicking with it, the sentence don't make any sense. It's just a bunch of random words, but it's what's coming up as a suggestion, and the kids are just going, off, just clicking on the next one. So one, we need to make sure they're sounding out the letters, the words, and read the sentence out loud. Always have them read the sentence out loud. Does that sound right? Is that what you were trying to say? If not, then maybe you need to erase it and start all over. So on the on-screen keyboard, it has word prediction feature embedded for the students. Perfect for students who need help with writing and sentences. Then I went into applications. I wanted to share some applications that I found interesting for the kids to use, especially when we have limited resources, we have limited time. I mean, I know it's hard to have supporting all the students at the same time. So I wanted to have these things as little helpers that you can put on the side, have them on your tablet. Some of these features do work on student computers. Other features, you have to have either a teacher device. The first ones I wanted to talk about, of course, Google is our friend. Google has already all these available applications, classrooms. We already used them many times. Google Meet, Gmail, Calendar, Drive, all these we already know these. But why are they good? Because one, they have the screen reader, they have the keyboard shortcuts, they have the display, high contrast, type with voice, captions or tracks, and then it has the magnifier. So we don't think about them. We were just like, oh, okay, we have digital, everything's digital. But have the kids work on reading the text with Google. I know the test, Google Forms reads it for them. They all have dictate, so if they need to type, they can use a microphone to embed the sentences. And calendar, it helps with the organization. I know we have so many things throughout the day, so it's good to set the calendar and set the reminder so that they're aware of the times and things that they need to do. Now, the next site I wanted to talk about is chatbots. I know your CITs made a presentation on this, and at first I was like, oh, they're very complicated. I need to elaborate. I need to go into put a bunch of things in it. Well, these I did it in like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I mean, I did them fast, but I wanted to give an example. So with my EBs, I I have Spanish. My Spanish is un poquito. I know it's a good Spanish, but it's hard to translate the same meanings when you're talking in English to Spanish. And a lot of the times that's where if you go to Google or translate, you can see that you put your sentences in Spanish and then it gives you a totally different meaning in English. Well, I made a chatbot so that the instructions is if you need help understanding or want feedback in Spanish, just ask, what do you want to translate today? And I even told the chatbot to translate it both in English and Spanish so that they can make the connections between the two languages. And I mean, of course, they're stronger is Spanish. Their primary language is Spanish, so it tells them in the bottom, bienvenido, puedes escribir cualquier frase o palabra en español y te la traduce en inglés. Si necesitas ayuda o retroleamiento, retación en español, dímelo. ¿Qué quieres traducir hoy? So then I made a terribly, and it's a bad sentence. I misspelled and I did it the best that I could just to simulate a student. And so I put let's say I'm writing an answer for the extended response, and then I put, lo que el autor quería decir es que ser valiente es importante en cualquier situación. So your student is typing, well, they need to type in English, or because it's English day, or we need to type in an extended response or something in English, but I know how to say it in Spanish. I just don't know how to type it in English. I put it in there, and then the chatbot changed it for me. And then it says, what the author wanted to say is that being brave is important in any situation. It's a pretty decent sentence. And what I liked about it is that it also made the corrections for the Spanish sentence. So I like I said, I spelled certain words wrong, and it breaks it down. So just a couple of notes. You put notas quería. It's supposed to be con tilde, and then an is n, and cualquiera, my spelling, yes, I misspelled that one too. And importante, it corrected the spelling in Spanish too. And then what do you think about being brave? So even after translating the sentence for me, I like that it was giving me sentences to continue my writing. So why do you think that being brave matters? And again, it translates it to Spanish. ¿Por qué crees que ser valiente es importante en cualquier situación? So, I mean, I'm liking that it's translating it already and pushing the kids to add more to their sentence, or their conversation. And not just that, let's say, oh man, well, they don't know how to read in English. They don't know what it's saying in English. Well, you could also use the speak feature here, and it will read what the answer, what it said. So everything that the chatbot would tell you, it would go back and it would read everything that it said. This is an example for writing or reading, or I mean, even think about it as your English pairs, or if you're having to combine two students, one that's struggling with English, this is a good way for them to help them communicate with their partners or with their group, because maybe I don't know how to say things in English, but I'm pretty good at my Spanish, and let me use some supports. So it's perfect for translating sentences for emerging bilingual students. Another way I used it was for math. Right now we're going over fractions, and again, I'm like, okay, we're going fractions, and I need to break it step by step. And sometimes, again, I'm in a role teaching all the kids, and then having to just like that student that needs extra help. It takes time. So what I did is that I made a chatbot where I just put help the student solve multiplication problems with fractions and whole numbers, and if you could please give them step by step. So when you go in, all I put was the equation. I started off with my equation. It was, where do I have it here? It's because it's in the top. But all I put was 5 times 6 over 5. And then it broke it down. So you have to turn in the whole number 5 into a fraction, 5 over 1, and then you have to multiply my numerators, the 5 and 5, multiply denominators, 6 and 1, and then your product is 25. Now, this is one part, okay, they did the multiplication, but we forget about making the problems into mixed numbers. So yes, you're doing your multiplication of fractions correctly, you're adding your fractions correctly, all of that, the kids are doing fine. But the last step that I've noticed with my kids a lot is that they're forgetting to change their improper fractions to mixed numbers. So what I did is that I asked the chatbot, can you please elaborate on the fact that we need to make them into proper fractions? So if you said over here on the next row, it says 25 out of 6 is an improper fraction. The teacher asked for a proper fraction. Do you want to leave it at 25 over 6 or convert it to a mixed number for 16? Which one do you choose? And then, well, I asked them to provide a picture. Of course, they're not going to be state-of-the-art pictures, but I thought it was pretty neat how it did it with the symbols that it has. So if you see here, I have 5 rows, 5 holes, each split into 6s. So this is 1 row, 2 row, 3 row, 4 row, 5 row. And then each one was 5 out of 6. So I have 5 out of 6 shaded 5 out of 6 shaded. That is what the picture that it came up with. And I thought that was pretty neat because I mean, sometimes during the Bluebonnet, the questions that they have, yes, we already did it, the visuals, and we already provided, but sometimes the kids are having trouble doing a visual representation of their work. So this one helped me set it up already. And then we have the count to shaded 6, 5 plus 5. So I have 5 here, 5 here, 5 here, 5 here. It gives me 25 out of the 6. Now we have to convert the number 24 out of 6 into 4 wholes. And I have a remainder of 1/6. So do you want to download the image or the model for the ACA picture? Okay. So this is what it came up with. I really like that. And the program I was using for this one was School AI. What I also liked about this is that you can see what the kids are messaging, and this is going to help you with your data too. So if I do solve the problems, and the kids are doing it, and I was like, well, what sentences are they struggling with? Well, you can look at each individual data for the kids. Well, Miss Torres has trouble with spelling cualquiera or importante. She has trouble, so I can add that to her spelling list. I can put that down in her information. So each student has its own. Well, when you do the accessing code, each student puts in their name and that's his own session. Everybody has their own session. So you can go back in there and look at each one individually and get that data from that. What are my misconceptions? What are the kids struggling with that concept? And again, so is he still struggling with the regrouping with the I'm sorry, with making into mixed numbers, then maybe I need to do another lesson with the kids because everybody's struggling with that part. So, I mean, chatbots, you can make them for everything. You can do for grammar rules, work on the punctuation. Can you correct this sentence, make sure that it has a capital letters, a period, and tell the kids why it was wrong so that they can lock that information again, repeat it again, repeat it. Hey, Miss Torres, you keep forgetting to put your punctuation, or hey, you keep forgetting to make your commas in these situations. You can customize your chatbots to what works best for your classroom or that student specifically. Okay. I mean, you can go on with chatbots. There's so many things available for that. Another one I like, this is 3-click spelling, and I wanted to show how to use it. It's pretty neat, and I bumped into it. The only thing is it's not available for the kids in their personal computers, but I am able to use it in my teacher computer, and I'm also able to use it in my tablet. So what I like is that it stops by it helps the kids find the word. So let me look at the link. I have the links all available over here. 3-click spelling, open kick, and then let me change the screen. I'm gonna share the other screen. Share. Where did it go? 3-click spellings. Give me a second as I get it going. Go. Okay. So, a lot of my kids, the issues that we're having for reading, and I mean, that's across the board, they are not able to find the sounds. I mean, even when I'm using my program, I'm finding new rules that we didn't know how are the reasons why we say things. So, for example, I wanted to spell the word tomorrow. I don't know how to spell tomorrow. I have to sound out the first letter. And for that, they have to, or the first sound. What is my first sound for tomorrow? Tomorrow. The kids will click it here. Now, tomorrow. Oh, the last sound. You have to pick on the last sound. Tomorrow. This might be a little hard for some students, but I know it's a OW. Oh wait, no. This is where I made the mistake when I first tried it. So I know it's W, but if you were to hear it tomorrow, I make the O sound. And I don't say its name. I don't say the sound. I say its name. So it's the long vowel sound. So it's tomorrow. Oh, the long vowel sound. Oh, and then I have to do my syllables. Tomorrow. I have 3 syllables. If you look at it like that, it starts giving you options. And if you look at here, my level 1, it's the tomorrow. So we as adults already know it's W. Tomorrow has W. Why are you going to put no? Well, for our kids who are making those mistakes or don't know the digraphs or the vowel combinations rules and stuff like that, they just need to focus on the sounds. So my tomorrow has and then tomorrow, my long O sound. And then I just need to do my syllable, even if you can break it down. So how about another one would be, let me clear it. People. People. My last sound is the L. And how many syllables? People. 2 syllables. This one does give you a lot more options and it's harder, right? But you can do the 4th step. P. What is a middle sound that I hear in people? So we do the P and it narrows it down to words that have that middle sound. And I mean, sometimes I have to spell 20 words in just 30 minutes with the programs that I'm using for, Lexia and all that. And the kids are struggling with that. I mean, I think this is so much help. I have my word wall already. I have my alphabet with images and pictures of pronunciation. I even have like a word list. And even with the word list, the kids are not able to find that word directly or link it. This one is helping me break those sounds down and by what they're hearing, not by like the rules that we know. So this is a nice little feature. I mean, it takes practice, but I thought this was so cool for my kiddos. This one is the 3-click spellings, and I have the link there on the PowerPoint, and I can send them in the chat. But I really did like how it takes time for me from the kids. I had them using the extended response and they were using this on my tablet and they really liked it. The kids really enjoyed it. Let me go back to the other the presentation so I can go back to the other pages. Another one that I did like was TeachingBooks. We have it available with PSJA, but this is because when I'm looking at the data for my kids, in just in 4th grade, let's say my highest grade levels, it's my 4th graders. You have kids in kinder level reading, you have kids in 1st grade reading level reading, and it's hard to get them like to enjoy books or find books at their level because uh they have so many things going on. Sorry. Let me just blur it. Okay. They have so many options, and then in a 5th grade classroom, you're not gonna find kinder level books, you're not gonna find 1st grade level books. So it's hard to find something that will help them out. So when you go to TeachingBooks, you can filter by level. So for example, let me go to this one. TeachingBooks. Let me switch. On this one, for the students, I'm a student who is reading at, let's say browse. I'm gonna browse, and my Lexile level or books, I'm at 1st grade. I know how low I am. So what I can do, I can filter. I can look at my genre, like I like things on mystery or humor. And then I can also do my grade level. Yes, I am a 5th grader, but I'm only reading at 1st grade level. So then this one filters more books. Of course, some of them are at the first glance, it's like, well, that's a baby book. But there's very good options like Dogman. I know a lot of kids like Dogman, Pete the Cat. And what I like is that when you click on it, it has resources for that book. Not only does it tell you, okay, you're 1 through 4th grade level, you're also your Lexile level. It helps you with resources on on one of them, I saw that it was able to help the kids pronounce the names. A lot of the times they get like, I don't know how do you say that character's name? And so that one helps them. Author with the interview or interview with the author. Again, they want us to get background information or what inspired that book. So even if they're messing around with the word search or the words that are frequently in that one, dog, pikey, empathy, it helps them lock those words in and practice so that they get an idea of what that book is. Again, this helps us filter the books, help them find the right material for them to read, and it also has resources for them to practice their reading and supports. That one, I mean, there's so many books, there's so many options to check, but you have to really mess around with it to get an idea. The next one I did was toy theater. Now, the reason I like toy theater because my manipulatives can be a handful with my kids. They either get distracted or they're playing with them, or I by the time I knew it, they already lost. Oh, well, let me look on the teacher books. This is just an emphasis on what is available on TeachingBooks. You can filter, you can go by the resources of the book, and then you can also have features for the teachers, for the students, video. Let's watch what the author, why did the author write this book, the purpose of it. So you can have those entry tickets and exit tickets for your classroom. Or you can just give it to that one student who needs a little support of what is going on. Now, toy theater. This is one I was talking about. So my kids, they start fidgeting, they start getting distracted. They already lost one fidget, they already lost part of the set. I don't know where it's at. So sometimes I do have a set already available, but I like to pop these out because it's visually appealing. The colors, you can differentiate by colors. You can differentiate the numbers so that the kids are, when you click on it, you have coins and it has the value of the coins and it kind of has the sizes of the coins. You can also do your counters, you can do shapes, you can do plot area model. I know we work on multiplication in third grade and fourth grade. This can help them make a visuals of their area models. Is that what your answer is? Is that what it looks like? So that they can make the connection. For reading, they only have flashcards and they have to break down syllables or sounds. But I really do like it as a math support for the kiddos to move around things. This is toy theater. They have other games and stuff, but they're all educational to help the kids with their material. Again, we have the place value chart. When I at least start presenting the place value chart, I like to have the names of it, the tense, place, value, all that. And then as I start winging off the kids from the labels and just focusing on the table, now they have to know what each one is. So by seeing it many times, it's the kids are remembering and locking that information. It also has the extended notation or how to break it down. So instead of 1,203, it's 1,203, and it breaks that number down into its parts. The next one I wanted to talk about was Take Kids. This is more of a fun or a calming corner. What I like is the creativity in it. You're getting to know about art. There's a bunch of videos on artists, why they did that art, and it's more for kids. And then I like that it has you can do paintings and has arts and crafts materials for the kids. This is more for a brain break. My kid's already stressed out. I'm already pushing them with so much work all left and right. He's already done. Let him give him 5 minutes. Let 5 minutes for him to work. And then he gets to do that. Take Kids. And then the last one is visuals. Our kids need a lot of visuals. They need to know how much time it takes for a test. How much time are you taking to do your task? Because if not, they get off. I know right now I have a timer and I put 30 minutes and I know my time's almost up. But like we get so caught up in like distractions and stuff. I even have little timers in my classroom where like I have hey, put your timer 5 minutes, 10 minutes, so that they can already have it. But if you don't have timers or you just want to focus on that one student, hey, let's put your timer on, and please, you only have 30 minutes. If you're not doing it, either we're getting distracted, we're having trouble with it. Maybe we might need to go back and do the lesson again, or maybe we need to change our placement because this isn't working out because of the time. The kids are not aware of time. If they could do the same thing all day. They can do one thing, but at least they need to know that you have this amount of time. You need to hurry up. So I know these things. There's a lot of really cool. There's the race timers. So if you have to want to make it fun, there's robots or rocket ships racing. There's classroom timers. I like the testing timer because it tells you you have 5 minutes remaining, 3 minutes remaining, and it has like a visual where the time is going down. And also you can put down instructions. So this is your math test. Please read the exam questions. You have 5 minutes to read the questions, and then you need to start the test. So it gives instructions. These are really cool features from that page. Of course, you have YouTube. You can do the YouTube timers. There's all these other things there, but these things help a lot with the kids. It helps them take a time of their like responsibility with their work, with their assignments, and it makes them aware like where we're lacking, where we need to work, what we need to push a little bit more. But yes, those are some of the applications that I try to find more and use them in the classroom. I hope you like the presentations. If you have any questions, you're always welcome to message me, teams me, or I mean, I know we have a really good support staff with Debbie and Valentine, and you guys are really awesome helping us out. So anything, feel free to reach out. And if you have any suggestions that work for you and I could implement in my classroom, I really appreciate it because I mean, they're kids, they need a lot of help, they need support. And it's not that we are low, it's that we work differently, we get distracted differently. We need a little bit extra help, and we want to help them out so that they can keep up with their peers. But yes, that would be it for my presentation.